Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. This is a haul video, so we're going to talk about some of the games that we got in during the month of January. Stay tuned. Let's start with the smallest of our games. Berk's Gambit is kind of a psychological thriller set in space. Players divide up into two teams. One team are the traitors. They sabotage the spaceship. The other team are the, I don't know, good guys, I guess. Whatever that means. They just want the spaceship to do its thing. Players have to determine who is on each team while also trying to figure out which player has an alien parasite kind of controlling everything that they do. That person is super bad, whether they're a traitor or a good guy. So that's kind of the core of the game, but there are some additional mechanics that I admittedly do not know much about because it kind of focuses on more of the social deduction side. I'm eager to play it because social deduction is not really my bag. It kind of stresses me out. So I want to see how a game that has that as a main mechanic combines with some other stuff that can maybe distract me long enough to keep me like chill during a game like this. Barcelona: The Rose of Fire is a game set during the expansion of Barcelona past its city walls and into the countryside. What's interesting is that it has a lot of gaining prestige and trying to become powerful, but at the same time you have to be really careful because there are revolutionaries within the city, and if you gain too much prestige they are going to come after you. So it seems like kind of an interesting balancing act between being powerful but not making yourself a target. And I think that's a dynamic in pretty much any game, but usually on a meta level. So I'm curious to see how it's implemented in an actual game format. Ponzi Scheme is a game that plays pretty much how you would expect based on the name. It is a game about setting up a giant con operation. To do that, you need to make a ton of trades and get as much money as you possibly can, because every turn you have to pay back investors. The amount of investors, I guess theoretical investors, more like just dupes. The people you have to pay back grows bigger and bigger and bigger every turn until finally someone breaks. They're no longer able to sustain their scam and they lose the game. The player at that point with the biggest and best con game around is declared the winner. I think I've heard really good things about this game, okay? I'll put that out there. But I'm not sure if it's one that I'm actually gonna really like. So I am curious to play it and see what I think. Like I said, I've just heard so many good things, but reading the back of the box and reading more about it, I don't know. We'll give it a shot. In Oracle of Delphi, you are one of the many unfortunate players who has been given 12 tasks to complete by the god Zeus. Zeus is always a jerk, so good luck to you. You play the game by going to the different islands and trying to complete his tasks there. What's really interesting though is that every round or every turn you roll the Oracle dice to give yourself bonuses and see how the game is going to go. I find that like a really, really cool mechanic version of having an oracle in the game, especially given the ancient ties of dice to fortune telling and stuff like that. So I'm super excited just by that one aspect. The game itself seems cool. I do like the theme overall, and I'm excited to give it a try. 12 tasks seems like a lot though, so I am hoping that the game doesn't, I don't know, drag out too much, and I hope that Zeus isn't a jerk like he always is in every single story. New York Slice is a pizza game, and we've actually had a fair amount of pizza games. I mean, at least 2, I think 3, that have come out recently, so that's kind of cool. I love pizza, so I'll accept a pizza game like any day. In this one, it's a lot lighter than Papa Paolo. I think that was the last pizza game we talked about, which was like a heavy Euro game with just a pizza theme on it. In New York Slice, You are given a pizza, you have to split it up, and your opponent gets their first pick of slices. At the end of every turn, you have to decide which pieces of pizza you all eat and which ones you keep. The goal is to keep the pizza slices with the most points. It seems kind of fun and relatively light. I'm curious to see how it works in like a more party or social setting. I think it would be a cool theme. The pieces actually look like pizza slices, which is really neat. Did I mention that I really like pizza? Liguria is the standalone prequel, not expansion game to Fresco, which is another game that Ryan and I really love. In fact, we have the big box version. It's like right over there above the camera. I can see it. It's really fun. It's about building a fresco, obviously, and Liguria is about what happens before that, as the merchants are traveling all over the land, most likely to buy the materials to build the fresco, but that's not entirely clear yet. Anyway, your whole goal is to be the most prestigious merchant that you can. You do that by trading, obviously, but also by being a diplomat and completing different diplomatic goals across the different islands and ports. So that is Liguria. I am curious to see how it actually relates to Fresco and whether or not the gameplay feels similar at all. But otherwise, it seems like a pretty standard merchanty Euro style game. There are more donkeys than women on this board game cover. I'm just throwing that out there. In Luna, the Moon Priestess is about to end her reign, and you have to prove to her that you're worthy of being her successor. To do that, you move your novices around the board, kind of worker placement style, taking different actions at the different locations. The catch is that the worker movement is actually a part of the turn instead of kind of happening beforehand. You start your workers wherever they ended their last turn. They don't get pulled back to you. They just get to move around from place to place. Different things can be scored at different points in the round, I believe. So it really emphasizes how it's important to have your workers in their right spots at the right time. Timing seems to be a huge component of the game. That, coupled with the theme, is something that I'm really interested in trying out. I've never played a worker placement game that emphasizes that aspect of moving things, but also being aware of where you are in the turn structure as you're doing so. I am curious to try it, and we will see. San Francisco Cable Car is a game that Ryan keeps telling me is Tsuro in the City. It's all about building up a cable car empire in San Francisco, of course, and to do that, you lay tiles down on the board connecting different routes. The whole point is to have like long, windy routes, just like in Tsuro, where you don't want to ever hit the edge of the board. It does seem interesting. I never really got that into Tsuro personally, so I'm interested to see if this plays like better for me, or if it's about the same. My problem with Tsuro was this, I got kind of bored, which I know is not a usual thing in Tsuro. People love that game, and I respect that, but it was not my jam. So this could be different. It could be the same. We'll give it a try. So those are the games that we got in during January. There were a lot of Euros with like kind of interesting themes, or even not strictly Euro games, but games that were very mechanic heavy and very light on theme. Overall, I think it maybe wasn't really my month. I tend to prefer games that are like super heavy on theme and honestly, no mechanics whatsoever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want it to tell me a really good story. So I'm going to play these and we're going to find out. Sometimes the story can be hidden within the mechanics, and I love it when that happens. I don't know if these games are going to give me that or not, but I am willing to take the chance because worst case scenario, I play a bunch of new games and that's not a bad way to spend my time. Anyway, if you like this video and you like all the other stuff we're doing, go over to our Patreon and check out what we have there. We have a bunch of different things for backers only. We have a Slack channel, we get access to these videos a little bit earlier, and we really, really appreciate any support that you can throw our way. Also, like and subscribe and leave a comment below with any games that you got in during the month of January. We like to see what you guys are playing so that we can better tailor what we show you. Anyway, that's all for us at the Cardboard Republic for right now. We'll be back again soon. Bye.